Life and Art, coming to you from deep in the heart of West Texas. It's been a couple of weeks since I recorded anything. I had a large project to finish, and then I was traveling. So, here I am, and I have some good stuff to show you and some good stuff to talk about today. I'm tired. I am super tired. I spent yesterday traveling home. You can see my eyes are kind of sad and bleary. I have a hat on, which really translates to I didn't want to fiddle with my hair today. Sporting my t-shirt from Crater Lake, Oregon. Oregon is the home of my very best and dear girlfriend in the entire world, and I got to travel to see her last fall, and we went to Crater Lake National Park, and I got a t-shirt, which was intended for my husband, but now it's about 3 sizes too big for him. I'm not really a fan of the Detroit Tigers. I found this hat brand new at a yard sale. Still have the tags on it, so I was confident it didn't have any, cooties. I bought it because Magnum PI wore a Detroit Tigers hat, and I'm a fan of Magnum PI and Tom Selleck in general, so that's why I have a Detroit Tigers hat. Anyway, on to more important things. Probably the biggest thing that I have to share with you is that I traveled to North Carolina last Wednesday and was able to take a workshop with Donna Downey, one of my very favorite artists in the whole world. And so I left Wednesday. The workshop started Thursday evening. We did Thursday night. We did all day Friday, all day Saturday, and Sunday from about 8:30 until 1 or 2 in the afternoon. And I am overwhelmed right now with the amount of information that I received, the thrill of actually just being there and seeing the store and the studio. I almost don't know where to start. So what I'll do is talk to you about the stuff that I brought home and the stuff that was given to us, and a little bit about my experience. I'll kind of just go in that order. So when you arrive, the tables are set out in the studio, and there's a place for everybody, and you can move around. You don't have to stay in that seat, but at your seat there was a little stack of gifts for you. So the things that were put out at our seat were a brush roll with my name on it, and it has Elizabeth, because I didn't tell anybody that I went by Beth, but I think it's cool. And the little Donna Downey ribbon is on there. And when we unrolled the brush rolls, inside them, see, brush roll, flap. Inside them was a 1-inch Simply Simmons, an 8-inch round Simply Simmons, which I used both of those all weekend, and I have always liked their brushes. A palette knife. There was an ink pen and also a charcoal pencil in there, which are not in my roll right this second. And a foam brush, ink pen, the 2 brushes, the palette knife. What else was in there? There was something else in there that I'm not remembering. Anyway, so we got a cool brush roll, which I'll probably use, and they're made out of canvas, and they've got the teal stitching and the teal embroidery, which is mirrored throughout, her logo and painted on the walls in the studio and the shop. So that's cool. The other thing was a journal for you to work in throughout the weekend, also with my name on it. I happened to use the back of my journal underneath some of my pages to catch all the paint off, which I thought was fun. And we worked on image transfers a little bit. I had never done an image transfer on to fabric, so I wound up with a nice little spot, so it went there well. When you open up the journal, it has metal grommets in the binding. They're bound pretty much like the inspiration journals are. And we bound them before we left, but I took mine apart because I'm going to rebind it. I left a page out, and I want to add some things to it. So your substrate for the weekend is file folders, manila file folders. And I was thoroughly impressed with how well they held up for us. And I'll do maybe an overhead walkthrough of all the pages that I worked on while I was there. Because this video would be stupid long if I went through every page. But you get this stack of file folders, and then there are some smaller ones that you can do like inclusions, which are also similar to the smaller inspiration journals. See, we got some smaller ones in there, so I'll show you that one page because it's my favorite. What I plan to do is put my pages back in the order that I want them, fill up any blank pages that I have left over, and possibly add another signature, make another signature on my own and add it to it. So that's that. That was at our seat. This was my placemat, one of my placemats from the week that I saved because it had some nice paint leftovers on it. The other one got really messy and I used it. We got a packet of information about all of the products and stuff that we were going to use over the week. We got some inspiration pictures that were printed for us, the pictures we used for our image transfer if we felt like it. Those were included with that. All of this was sitting nicely at your seat when you arrived Thursday evening. So there's that. Is there something wet over there? What did my hand just touch that's wet? That's the weird part about working down here, or in any studio for that matter. Stuff winds up in crazy places. Got that. Also at our seat was a Moleskine. Brand new Moleskine. I love Moleskines, and I happened to had just bought one before I left. It had graph paper in it. These pages are blank, and she talks a little bit about the history of Moleskines and why she likes them. And I decided to use this one as a small art journal. So I was able to, this little guy was, this little thing about 29 ways to stay creative was sitting there, and I thought about using it as a bookmark, but I thought, you know, I'm just going to tape that right in the front of this to remind me of my trip. And I did one little page in here with some, we made skins out of molding paste. I had never done that before. I'd seen it done, but I hadn't tried it myself. So I did this word, and this is where my skins went, and there's where my extra paper went. This was the under paper, not from the table, but my placemat. So that went down. I did this little collage page with stencils, and it's got some iridescent fine gold over it. You can't really see that, but it looks pretty in person. And I laid some music paper down over here to work in later. So I think I'm going to use this as a small art journal, smaller than my inspiration journal, not as small as the tiny watercolor book that I had made. And I think that's everything that was sitting out at our seats as far as freebies. Things that I purchased for myself over the week. A long time ago, I bought this pencil bag at Texas Art Supply. Just so happened, at the studio, they had a big one with cameras on it. And it's about yay wide. It's fairly deep. Got a nice flappy on it. There's an extra pocket in there. So cool. I just thought it was fun that there was a matching one to my pencil bag. So that came home. I picked up some of the bleeding tissue paper that was in a recent Inspiration Wednesday video. I'm going to try that out. I also picked up some of the rub-ons that she'd been using recently with the foil. I got 2 packages of different words. And these are by Prima. Adhesive rub-ons. Christine Adolph is her name. And I picked up some of the foil. So, I got those. some Spectra Fix, which is fixative for pastels or movable, not waterproof media. I've been meaning to get this for forever, and it just happened to be there. And then I got some paint. The Holbein Luminous Rose was used quite a bit in the Abstract Florals class, so I wanted to get some of that. I could not find the Holbein acrylics here. I picked up some golden heavy body in the Manganese Blue Hue. I got a chance to use this color in person, and I'm glad that I did because, boy, it's nice. And I also got the Manganese Blue Hue in the 1 ounce fluid. And it's so fun to be there in the studio and use all these great big containers of golden products. I would never have that opportunity on my own. This is not from the studio. A light. I messed up my light. There. The last thing that I picked up at the studio is probably my favorite item. I got the Mega Moleskine. This is the biggest Moleskine I've ever seen in my life. It is going to tell me the dimensions. Maybe. .7 inches by 42 inches. 96 pages. So, if you follow Donna at all, she's got a course, I think it's the 48 weeks course that works in this size of a book. And she had hers out for us to look at and told me that hers weighs 15 pounds. But it's beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. Flipping through those pages was fun. And her inspiration journals are also out for you to look through. That was a real treat, I gotta say, because that's how I found her and how I got started moving more in the direction of being an artist. So those are all the things that I purchased. I got a couple little gifts. I got my daughter a small art apron. I brought my husband a pair of socks, and I brought my son a Spider-Man book, which I did not buy at Donna's studio. We did do some stamp carving. I don't think that that's my gift. However, this topic came up several times during the weekend. If you try something the first time and you're not good at it, it doesn't mean that you're not ever going to be good at it. You have to practice. You have to keep doing, keep working. So my friend across the table finished carving my stamp for me, my music note stamp. So maybe I'll give it another whirl at another time. I didn't take to it as naturally as I do other things. So the majority of the time we spent going through products, I've never met someone who had more knowledge of what art supplies do and why. We talked a little bit about how it can be daunting going into an art supply store, and I'm not speaking about places like Michael's or Hobby Lobby or places like that, places that sell fine art supplies. It can be very daunting to go in there the first time, and you're afraid to ask questions, and you kind of feel like a dope, to be honest, and they look at you like, why are you here, kind of thing. The best and most useful things came out of this weekend because the product knowledge that Donna has is amazing. I don't know where she put it all in her brain. Finding out, well, why is a watercolor a watercolor? Why does it do what it do? Why does it do what it do, y'all? Why does it do what it does? Why is the binder in this paint different from the binder in that paint? What is binder? How is this going to act if you do this with it? How are all of these things going to marry into one thing? And there is no, now we're going to take the brush and paint a line. And now we're going to take this piece of paper and stick it here. It wasn't set up like that. There was a working knowledge of the products at hand given to you, and you have a place to put it, a thing to put it on, a substrate to put it on, and then you simply work. I tried some things that I felt worked really well, and I tried some things that I didn't like at all, how they worked together in the way that I was manipulating them. And you're in this room full of people, and you can sort of walk around and see what other people are doing. And it was so enjoyable. That part, I can't put a price on that. I really can't. The women who sat at the table with me were from Rhode Island, Connecticut, and Ohio. And what a treat it was to meet these ladies. We laughed. We spent time together outside of the workshop. It wasn't like we came to our workshop and then ran away and hid out in our hotel rooms. That was just a real treat. And I hope that I am able to stay in touch with them. That's just been a blast. And we laughed. Oh, we laughed. Everybody seemed to have a story about something. We shared our lunches and our dinners together. That were excellent, by the way. Just all the way around, a great time. And I do not regret for one moment being able to go. I do have to say I do have one regret. One. The day that we arrived, I was very nervous. I didn't bring a friend with me. I needed to go alone. I needed to have some time to myself. And the first evening when we went to the studio, I was very nervous. Like nervous to the point that I had the shakes. I sent a friend a message and I said, I'm about to go into the studio and I think I'm going to throw up. That's my nature. And I didn't want to come across as a creeper. As the lady that was all, you're so great and I'm so awesome and I'm so dumb and I'm stupid and you're great. And I didn't want to come across that way. So the first evening I was incredibly reserved, really feeling out the room, feeling out the people that were there, feeling out Donna's teaching style and seeing how I was going to best be able to fit into that. And it worked itself out. The next morning, I was felt comfortable. I did rein myself in quite a bit because I have a tendency to ruin good things by being ridiculous, and I didn't want to be ridiculous. So I was a little more reserved than I would be in my natural habitat. So that would be my only regret, is that I wish that I had just cut loose and not been so concerned about coming across as a moron. That's it. My only reservation. Flew home yesterday. It was my son's birthday. That was lots of fun. He's 4 now, so that's good. I have a couple of other things to show you. In the Craft Shack, I'm a Patreon of my friend Heather and her art and her just helping promote the good work that she does at the Craft Shack. And so my Patreon rewards for this month came. And she sends you an ATC each month to fill out your little, she sent me this little sleeve that you put your ATCs on. And we all got a print, a little one, of this wonderful piece that she had done back around Easter. I'll dig up the link to that video so that you can see it. And we also got a larger print of it. It doesn't show all of the texture, the awesome texture that was on the real piece, but it's so beautiful. And the Craft Shack forever has a place in my heart. Just the most wonderful, giving, generous, warm people. And I got a little note on the inside from Heather. I'm going to set this up here where I can see it. And I'm looking forward to filling up my ATC page because I'm a Patreon. If you don't know what Patreon is, Google it. It's very self-explanatory. I did a little piece before I left based on a Sean Petit Sunday inspiration video. I'll link to this video as well, and I need to send her a picture of this. Sean is so kind. She always responds. And mine does not look exactly like hers, but this is on an 8x8 cradle board. I thought this was super fun. They've got lots of paper in the background, some stenciling. The bicycle is not a stamp. This is a piece of ephemera that I printed from Pinterest. It was a freebie. I painted the flowers in the box like she does in her video. This is actually a gift for a friend of mine. So there's that. That was lots and lots of fun. I did the cover of my new Canson journal that I use for my everyday art journaling. I did the cover. There's that. These are primarily Tim Holtz papers that are collaged down. This is, the artist is off of Donna's I Am an Artist stencil. There's some paint on there and paint around the edges. I don't know the best way to get in and cover up this blue that's left over from the original cover except to get in there with some paint. And I obviously haven't done that. So there's the cover of my new journal, and I only have one page in it so far, and it's not anything. What else? I picked up from Target their brand of the watercolor gel crayons. I haven't tested these yet. I think the Frugal Crafter did a video about these, and they were, I don't know, $4. So there's all the colors that come in it, and I'll test these out this week, and if I don't love them, my daughter can use them, so that's fine. And also I picked up, I don't see it. I don't see them out. Oh, here they are. Target had some, what did they call them? I took them out of the package. I don't remember what they were called. They're watercolors, but they're shimmery watercolors. I know these won't be as great as the things that I can't remember the name of. From, are they Color Art or Magicals? Is that right? I think it's Magicals. I know these won't be as awesome as that, but they might add some interesting visual appeal to some things. And here again, they were $3 or $4. If I don't love them, my daughter can use them, so that's great. That's about where I am right now. I'm at 23 minutes. I need to stop. My throat's getting dry, and I need a drink. And frankly, I have some products that I want to play with and work on. A big thanks to my friend Trisha over at Joyfully Boxed. Most of you have seen my post about that so far. I was happy to contribute 20 4x4, just about yay big, panels of flowers to her Mother's Day box. If you don't know what Joyfully Boxed is, I'll link to it. Go check it out. I don't know if you can still get in time for the Mother's Day box, but you might want to take advantage of it in the future. And kudos to my dear friend Trisha. We've been friends a long time, for jumping out there and starting a new venture. You go, my dear friend. I hope it's wonderful. Hope the Mother's Day boxes sell out. Otherwise, I hope all of you moms out there have a great Mother's Day. If you're not a mom, I hope you're celebrating your mom. If your mom is no longer with us, as mine is not, I pray that you are able to have a reflective day and remember good things. Mother's Day can be hard. It can. I'm with you on that, and I feel you on that. Otherwise, that's all I got. So that was my review of the Inspired Artist Weekend at Donna Downey Studios. If you have a chance to do it, I recommend it. It was great time. I can't tell you. It was great. I loved it. That's it. So get out there, do something, make something, and remember to give